Hello and welcome to the Australian Gamer Show. I'm Yug.
I'm Matt.
And it is 2010.
It's 2010.
2010.
2010. It is the future.
Oh my god, we're here.
I know, it's very exciting. I've been waiting. My flying car arrives on Thursday.
Really? That's
Yep.
awesome. Did you party like it's 2009? Doesn't quite have the same ring.
No,
to
it really
No, I know. Sorry.
For everyone who doesn't know, the decade actually starts in 2011. But who cares?
No.
Really. So
This year actually appeals to my complex of actually liking even numbers.
Yeah.
So, 2009 just never really sat quite well with me, but 2010, it just feels really well-rounded.
I am looking forward to having another number that is symmetrical.
Yes.
Like, I don't think we're going to have one until, like, 2112.
This is going to be bad, but what do you mean by symmetrical?
Well, the number, like, palindrome reads back and forwards the same way.
What do you mean by palindrome? What?
Something that reads back and forwards
Oh, so you
the
mean
same
like
way.
2002?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right.
Or
But
boo.
2010 doesn't read the same backwards.
That's my fucking point. That I'm looking forward to having numbers that will read backwards. And it's going to be hard now that we've gotten past that 2002
Yeah,
point.
we won't get one for
We
like
won't get one till
100
like
years.
Yeah. So
Why are you looking forward to it?
Well, because that's cool.
But we won't live to see that. What does
Also,
that
we're
have to
going to
do
have
with
numbers
anything?
like 2020. That'll be cool. That's good enough. For
Okay,
me.
yeah, 2020. It's like the Vision or
Yeah.
something like that. Anyway, the 2010, brand new year, brand new everything like that. There hasn't been much gaming news because everyone's been too busy actually getting gaming stuff for Christmas and playing them. Most of the publishers have actually been away.
New Year's stuff.
And partying hard.
Partying hard.
So
Making resolutions.
did you make any New Year's resolutions?
I made a resolution to be not such a nerd this year. I've already broken it.
Yeah.
No, actually, you know what? I do actually have a resolution, which is to play more games. I need to just play more. Which,
Yep.
The last part, particularly of last year, was just a shocker for me in terms of actually having time to sit down and play games.
Sure.
So I'm gonna, and there are some amazing games coming up at the start of the year that we're just about to leap into.
Yep.
So I'm gonna make sure I actually give those a go. So I'm not sitting there going, "Oh, I hear that new Batman game is really good."
I wish I'd played it.
Exactly, which is where I am now, and kind of where I was last year as well. I was
Yeah.
like, Assassin's Creed, what is that? I
enough.
hear you climb shit.
Well, my New Year's resolutions. Well, I don't really have New Year's resolutions. I used to be all big on them, but they never lasted, of course, because they're not supposed to, I suppose. So I just got to the point where it's like, well, if I'm gonna do a resolution, I'll just do it at any point. Like, I think if you really give a shit about a resolution, start on the 26th of December or something like that, or start on the 5th of January. Start on some day or date that means nothing, because I think that you're much more inclined to actually then go, right, well, actually keep it, as opposed to feeling the pressure of the whole New Year's resolution thing coming down on you.
Yeah, if you wanted to change, you would have. I've actually heard a statistic that 80% of new gym memberships are within the first week of January.
Yeah, that was me last year. Although I did in the last week of December. They were having a special.
They had a special.
Yeah, the bastards.
Yeah, and apparently a vast number of those people don't actually go to more than 3 appointments, so they make this killing in January.
Again.
Yeah, that's you.
So, yeah. No, I did. My general vague resolutions was actually to drink less and smoke less, but I'm opening a fucking bar, so, really.
There's also less than who.
Less than I used to.
Right. Because you could say, I want to drink less and smoke less than, say, the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
And you'd be...
I'd be in the majority of people in the world anyway. 99% of the people alive or dead.
Or dead.
Anyway, we are going to talk about games. We're actually going to take a look at, obviously, the last podcast. We looked at 2009, the year that was.
Indeed.
And this time we're going to have a look at the games that are coming up in 2010.
Which is quite an impressive list. There were a lot of games that were expected to come out at the end of last year that got pushed back. So some really big, solid, fun, awesome, ginormous...
And also a lot of, as we were saying, a lot of sequels to a lot of original IPs that actually came out this year. And turned out to be really good games. So, let's, I guess, look forward to see what they bring. I'm always conflicted on this point. I don't know whether I should be cynical, it's a sequel, they're just trying to milk the franchise now, or if I should be excited because I loved the first game. I'm really looking forward to playing more and experiencing more of that same thing.
It's the never-ending battle of sequels. You have to do more of the same without doing, more of the same.
Yeah.
You risk upsetting people if you change it too much, but if you don't change it enough, people go, "Well, you just made a level pack."
Yeah, yeah. It's like my issue with Max Payne. It looks like they've changed everything about it to the point that I'm like, this doesn't feel like a Max Payne sequel. So it's, do you know what I mean? That whole thing. If they do go out and try and do innovative, changing things, whereas I look at BioShock, which looks very much the same sort of thing. It's the same environment, same settings, very similar characters and all this kind of thing. And I'm actually not as moist as I would have thought I would have been.
Which is ironic because it's underwater.
Yes, that's true. But look,
we've basically written down a couple of lists of the games that appeal to us, that interest us, or that we know enough about to talk without sounding like fuckwits. So,
obviously, there's going to be a bunch that appeal to you guys out there, like Halo Reach, for example. We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah. Halo Reach Around is not really a game that appeals greatly to me. Do you like what I did there?
I did. I saw that. Yeah, you took it and then
made it sexual and homosexual as well.
Yeah, of course you did. You do that so naturally. So we've just picked out the games that actually appeal to me and Matt because it's our fucking podcast.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to talk about Halo Reach, do your own podcast.
But let's look at the games that actually have release dates attached to them, which is pretty much any games that's coming out in the first 3 months, the first quarter of this year. So, I mean, straight away, this week, we've got two massive titles, Darksiders and Bayonetta, coming out on the 5th of January.
I'm actually going to throw another one into that little pairing because I've noticed that there's this trio of games coming out in the first quarter, and I can't quite remember exactly when it's coming out, but I think February. But Dante's Inferno, I think, belongs in that little grouping as well.
The third-person God of War style or action fighting game thing.
But with a spiritual theme.
Oh, with the spiritual theme.
With the heaven and hell theme kind of.
Yeah, see, we were talking about this before, and Darksiders, absolutely. Dante's Inferno, definitely. Bayonetta, most people have glossed over the whole heaven and hell theme in that game.
But the fact remains that is the theme.
Okay.
Like, you can say you don't care, or people don't care, or it's about her sexy hair, or...
yes, it's about her hair, her sexy hair.
Well, it's about the fact that her clothes are her hair, and when she uses her moves, her clothes go away, and then she's naked, and we can look at her boobies and vagina. But
there we go.
All in all, it does have that same supernatural thing.
Okay, fair enough. I'm just saying it's the weakest link of these three in that tenuous sort of...
No, I don't think so, because I think when you look at something like Bayonetta and you look at it side by side with Dante's Inferno, I think you have an interesting comparison.
Okay, all right. So,
or I've chosen to make one.
Yes,
anyway.
You have, so run with it.
Bayonetta and Darksiders are both getting really, really solid rave reviews. Darksiders in particular is getting 10 out of 10s left, right and centre. Including Game Arena, who for some reason have a review up and we don't.
Well, I'm probably about 3/4 through the game at the moment. I'm going to finish it off this weekend. I won't say much yet. You have to read my review when I put it up online. But
will you be giving it 10 out of 10?
No.
Right. That's probably enough said.
All I'll say is that I didn't.
Will you be giving it less than that or more than that?
We don't put scores on our reviews. How do I give it a score when we don't score?
Also, how do you give it more than 10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, I guess I came into it not really expecting much, not being overly excited, and I'm pleasantly surprised. But I'm not blown away. I'm not, my clothes are not flying off me in some scene where those scenes where they got like the wind blows against them and all their clothes they're blown away sort of thing.
Yeah,
that's not me playing this game.
I'm really glad of that. Actually.
Yeah, so are most people.
So those ones are coming out. Bayonetta has been getting just incredible reviews everywhere.
And
we've pre-ordered the Climax edition, which is the collector's edition.
Just to clarify that, when Matt says we've,
he means
he and his girlfriend, because Bayonetta. I played the demo, and it does not appeal to me at all.
Really? Because it did blow my clothes off. In a literal kind of sense. Though it could have just been that I was doing a special attack at the time.
Yeah.
And anyway, No, it looks.
Your hair's not that long.
Really. I think it's really fun and really interesting. I'm definitely keen for that one.
I think it's really.
Devil May Cry.
No. I just found it kind of meh.
Okay, you can meh all you like.
It was just
meh elsewhere.
Bitch. I'm just saying. Look, and I like this with the different thing. Hey, we don't have to be nice to each other anymore.
No, fuck that shit.
It's not Christmas anymore.
No,
okay,
it is not. You.
Well, in that case, no.
Cunt.
Bayonetta looks like it's fucking. It doesn't look like it's doing anything special. It doesn't look like there's any reason to actually play through the game. It just looks boring to me, and all the special attacks and over the top stuff just looks. It looks pretty, but pretty is not enough for me, and I find it ironic. I find it fascinating that I'm looking at a game going, no, the pretty's not enough, and you're looking at it going, it looks like a lot of fun. It's really pretty, and the special attacks are huge, and it's fun. This is a serious role reversal
here. By making your voice higher, you shithead. Anyway, I just wanted to say we probably don't need to say too much more about that. I just did want to say though that Dante's Inferno looks to be the deeper of the two games. I like the overdone fighting in Bayonetta, but Dante's
what do you mean by deeper?
Storyline. It looks to have a stronger storyline.
Okay.
Just from my play of the demo that's out on the PlayStation Network and Xbox Live, I think the story kind of really interested me. Where Bayonetta, I'm just like, I killed a demon.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, an angel.
Really?
Yeah, they're angels. But anyway,
aren't demons just fallen angels anyway?
There's a lot of speculation on that.
I mean, not
if you actually read the Bible, which you probably haven't because you're a Christian.
I'll have you know, I've read through the Bible cover to cover.
Really?
Over 4.5 times.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Do you remember the bit in that about where Satan came from and where the angels and demons came from?
Vaguely. This was a long time ago that I read through this.
You don't, because it's not actually in the Bible.
Well,
it's just speculation that came up later.
Well, that's why I only vaguely...
This is really off topic.
Yes, it is. We've gone to religion. That's bad.
Mass Effect 2 is another one that's coming out. That's in January, and it's the 26th.
Yep. You played Mass Effect 1?
No.
Why are you excited about Mass Effect 2?
I'm not really. I just thought that was one that deserved mention because it is so soon, and it is such a big title.
There was a... I can't remember. Where was the list we were looking at? There was someone did the top 12 games of this decade.
Game of Sutra.
Game of Sutra did it. And, I mean, there were some in there that, me and Matt were listening to it sort of thing. It was like,
Halo.
Oh, yes, Deus Ex, yes, fair enough.
Yeah.
Shadow of Colossus, okay.
Yeah, respectable for its art and bowl.
The Sims, yep, that's completely fair enough. Halo, okay, I guess. Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Mass Effect was in there. And I didn't think it was... it warranted that much acclaim to put it in a top 12 games of this decade. I mean, really.
Well, I mean, I can't judge it because I haven't played it, but I think BioWare are overrated, I have to say. Yeah, I know. I didn't play Knights of the Old Republic, which will get me mocked.
Yes.
But I played Jade Empire, and I got fucking bored with it.
Okay, you've played the weakest of their recent games.
Yeah, people always say that. BioWare are amazing. Oh well, not that one.
Okay, but also I think maybe those games just aren't, because BioWare as a company, they do games that are in a particular niche, a particular genre. They don't really. They're not about to do a racing game sort of thing,
No, I can't see a kart racer.
No, I can't see that coming from them either. So that's the point. They do this specific type of game. Maybe their type of game. It's not that it's bad, it just doesn't appeal to you.
Yeah, maybe it's not my type of game, but they are boring and wordy, which I would think would be my kind of game.
So is...
I'm that kind of person.
Like World of Warcraft and things like that.
Yeah, but that's my point, so therefore they should appeal to me, because that should be
Maybe that's why they don't, though, because in World of Warcraft, and this is something I've always thought about RPGs today, is that I've always found it hard to justify sinking 40 to 50 hours into a single-player RPG thing where you lose yourself in the story and all this kind of stuff, when there are online options out there that are actually continuing, that it just almost feels like a waste of time sinking so much time into a single-player RPG.
That makes no sense to me, but let's move on.
Okay.
The other one that was coming out on the 26th of January, as well as Mass Effect, was MAG, which is
another PlayStation 3 game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's another PlayStation 3 exclusive. It's called... It's a worst name ever. MAG is Massive Action Game. And it's basically a...
it's not the worst game ever, that name ever.
It's pretty bad.
MAG.
Anyway, it's basically a multiplayer combat.
Is this the one that's
game.
like 200 people?
Yeah, 256 simultaneous players.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting in terms of what it can do for combat dynamics, because when you have small squads like 5-10 people, even up to 30, you basically have a sort of squad dynamic.
Yeah.
But when you get up to numbers like 200, 300 people, you're actually dealing in fluid dynamics. People move in big groups really differently to what they move in small groups, and you have to handle that differently. So the flow of battle is really different in those. What?
You know that whole thing that you were saying that your New Year's resolution is not to be as geeky this year?
Oh, right. Well, anyway, the point is there's a lot of things that they're doing in this that look really exciting in terms of like parachuting people in and artillery support, and everything's being done by players, and it's really part of the game, nothing scripted. It's really impressive looking, and it looks to be sort of stepping up.
I don't know that much about. I'm gonna have to look into it a little bit, because I've never really... Online isn't really my thing.
If I have a New Year's resolution in terms of gaming, it's apart from to play more,
games, yeah.
It's to play more online. Because I think I'm missing out on a lot of gameplay by my disinterest in playing online.
Put yourself out of the box, sort of thing.
Yeah, whatever.
Does that make sense?
Out of my comfort zone, I think what you were going for.
I was going for the wrong phrase there.
Anyway, let's look at some of yours.
Yeah, well, look, no, we'll get to mine in a sec.
Okay, we're going through these sequentially.
I mean, Darksiders is I've almost finished it, so it's not really a game I'm looking forward to as much.
But for the peons out there, it is.
Yeah. Look, well, like I said, read my review when it comes out. There's not really any other games in January that I'm really sort of salivating over, sort of thing. It's just I've got some very specific niche titles I'm looking forward to. February, let's talk about February.
Yeah, we are.
Alien vs Predator coming out. It's officially coming out on the 18th of February, I think. I loved the first Alien vs Predator game on the PC. I loved playing Alien games in general. I remember playing Alien Trilogy on the original PlayStation and being scared shitless, basically. Like, just as the Marine going down the hallway and there's a face hugger. And, like, I played it recently and it's like, wow, that is horrible. That is the worst pixelated graphics I've ever seen. And the game got horrible reviews. But for me, when I played it, because I love that Alien universe and all that kind of stuff, I was scared shitless. I look forward to being scared shitless. Hopefully, that's what I want. I want to get scared when playing this game.
Well, that seems to be what they've been going for. They've been going for the horror and the
My
gore.
only concern with this Alien vs Predator thing is, they're going for the gore and the violence, but that's not scary.
I know.
But of course, they're showing a lot of Predator videos, and the Predator, even in the games, was never a scary character to play at. Oh, you never got scared playing as this, because you're a fucking Predator. He's awesome.
Yeah.
It's when you're playing as a human that you're scared, and playing as an alien is just so different from any other first-person experience out there, because you can climb up walls, and I don't know if they've still got the fisheye sort of vision in this one or not.
I think so. I hope so, because that really adds something cool.
It
makes it distinctly, visibly different.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. Bioshock 2, of course, on the 9th of February.
Yeah.
Bioshock 1, brilliant game. I'm waiting to be impressed with Bioshock 2.
One thing that I find interesting in Bioshock 2 is that they're having a lot more water in it. Apparently they're adding a lot more... Because the original Bioshock was underwater, but you don't actually see much water. Like, considering...
You don't actually interact with the water?
Yeah, exactly.
Much. Yeah,
exactly.
Because you do see a lot of fucking water.
You see it, but you see it outside.
It's kind of everywhere, yeah.
You see it outside, and there's a few places where cutscenes kind of fill areas and so on, but you don't actually interact with it or move through it, and they're looking at doing that in Bioshock.
Yeah, I remember watching one of the videos sort of thing where the character, and because you're a big daddy, so you can survive underwater.
Yeah.
So. But here's the thing: I've never played a game that I think has underwater feels cool playing it underwater. Underwater physics, underwater movement, stuff like that has never really been successfully simulated by any first-person game before.
No, that's a valid thing.
It always just feels like a really shit mechanic. It's just all they do is they slow you down. You never really feel like you're underwater. You just feel like you're in a Jello mold sort of thing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They basically just make it harder to move, and and reduce the gravity a bit.
Because all of a sudden, I mean, you've got this great fluid control with your joystick for, moving your character forward, backwards, strafing left and right. But as soon as you add in that up and down axis that's more than just jump, it just doesn't work. Unless the game's actually purely configured for that, that kind of environment, like a space game or like a descent sort of control or something like that.
Well. I do remember seeing a descent type game that was set underwater, but it wasn't like first person.
Sure.
FPS style. I'll be interested to see how well they handle it. Speaking of water in games, it's been added to Little Big Planet now, which is interesting.
How? What do you mean?
There's now water in Little Big Planet. There was a recent update that was Pirates of the Caribbean themed, and it's got a bunch of new levels. I highly recommend the levels to anyone who has LBP. It's well worth the download because they've been basically putting out level kits for a while, but the level kits have included stuff to make levels, but haven't actually included levels. And this new one, I was worried would be the same, but it does actually have like 5 levels.
Are you saying can you interact with the water, or does it actually affect?
You can swim in it.
Oh, you can swim.
Yeah, you can go for a swim, which is pretty cool. And you can drown if you're down for long enough, but you got to find bubbles while you're down there, a la Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay. And it's actually it's pretty fun. The water adds some new stuff, and it's a pretty nice effect. And the Sackboy dog paddling when he's on the top of the water is absolutely adorable. You just watch it and you go, "Oh, he's dog paddling." Anyway.
Other games coming out in February.
Speaking of underwater, Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain, nice segue there.
I thought.
I mean,
we've talked about Heavy Rain in the past, so there's probably no real reason to.
Again, the thing is, I mean, most of the games that we're about to list off here, and we have been listing off, I'm actually not looking at them and going, "Oh my god, I can't wait to play this game." Most of them, I'm like, I really hope this is good.
Yeah, I think if there's anything that we probably need to talk about in terms of Heavy Rain, it's that Heavy Rain is going to be pretty much going head to head, though not in time, at least in kind of theme with Alan Wake. I see those being quite an interesting parallel.
Well,
each one being an exclusive, and each one I think being.
I don't know. I don't know all that much.
What
about
I like about
Alan Wake, though.
What I like about both Alan Wake and Heavy Rain is they're both going for a kind of storytelling. They're both very mature titles in that they're not gory. They're intelligent, and I think hopefully in the course of the next year and further on, we start to see mature not meaning gore.
Yep.
Which is what it means now. Like adult titles, mature titles now mean violence, gore, and bloodshed.
Sure.
Whereas what it should mean is intelligence, complex concepts.
Meant for a more mature audience.
Yeah, exactly. But it should mean things like nudity, sexual references, drug use.
It should mean both, really.
No, it should. But at the moment, it means violence.
It's very skewed. No, I get that.
And I would like to see game makers, stretching their legs a bit in terms of what they do for adults.
My biggest issue with Heavy Rain is the whole QuickTime event thing. When I first saw videos of it, I'm like, okay, they still have QuickTime events because I played the original Indigo Prophecy by the same developer. But Uncharted 2 has just done such a fantastic job of showing how you can make cinematic moments in a game without using QuickTime events and still keeping that feeling of control for the actual player. So my concern with Heavy Rain and watching a lot of the videos as well is, does it actually control well? Does it actually feel fluid, or does it take you out? Because that was the biggest problem I had with Indigo Prophecy, was the QuickTime events took you out of this.
We're really treading over trodden ground here, because we've talked about this before.
Treading
but we'll
over
have
trodden ground.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, well, let's move ahead to March then, shall we? March, we got Final Fantasy 13.
Yep.
We got Command & Conquer 4 Tiberium Twilight.
Yeah, that's one that you actually care about.
I do care about because it's going to finish the franchise. It will kill off. They are going to kill off Kain.
Oh, they kill off people all the time in franchises.
This is like
Kain will have a son. They'll fucking clone Kain. I don't care.
Command & Conquer, son of Kain. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, this is a characters and storyline that I played when I was in fucking high school. And it's like, this game's coming out, and they're like, this is going to be the conclusion to this epic battle between Nod and the GDI. And that's cool. I like that. It's better than just saying it's another one of the CNC franchise.
Yeah, fair enough.
Interestingly enough, on the same day, 16th of March, Supreme Commander 2 actually comes out as well.
Oh, interesting.
I think so. Well, that's the Xbox version. I think the PC version comes out like a week before that or something like that.
But certainly in the same general time.
I always find it funny how, like, these are two big RTS, powerhouse sort of games that are well rated and well received and all this kind of thing, and they're released so soon together. Wouldn't a publisher actually go, we probably shouldn't release at the same time as this other big RTS? People probably won't buy 2 RTSs in 1 week.
No, they probably go, we have to release them because if we release 3 weeks later, everyone will already have Tiberian Twilight. Twilight?
Yeah, Twilight. There's vampires in it as well.
Sweet.
I think Oracle's starring in it too. What else in March? Well, actually, I think that's all we've really got for
that
games
we care
with specific
about.
Release dates. A little bit further on from that is one I actually am genuinely looking forward to because I've played a bit of it, which is Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, that's
that's
a Rockstar game.
Rockstar's game, open world environment. Some people say it's Grand Theft Auto in the Wild Wild West. It's more than that, and it's serious. Takes itself seriously. It's very cool. 27th of April for that one. And then there's a whole bunch of ones that we don't have dates for. We just vaguely think and hope that they're actually coming out in 2010.
We know they're coming out 2010, but at various different stages of the year. Some of them quite early. God of War 3 is one of them, and that's probably coming out first quarter, but it doesn't have an actual date.
Yep. Previously mentioned Alan Wake, of course, as well.
Mod Nation Races. It's not Modern Nation, it's Mod Nation.
I don't know what this game is.
Well, it's basically Mario Kart. Meets Little Big Planet.
I don't get it.
Well, you know how you can make the levels and stuff for Little Big Planet? Well, you make the levels, the tracks and stuff for Mod Nation Races.
All right.
And you can customize your characters and all this kind of stuff, customize your cars.
What system is it on?
PS3 exclusive.
PS3 exclusive. PS3's getting a lot of exclusives.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of exclusives for the PS3. I had a bit of a look through for exclusives for the Xbox 360 as well because I didn't want to seem unbalanced. But I have to be honest, not many of them appealed to me as much as the PS3 ones.
Okay. PS3 coming into its own in 2010. Look, I'll let you say the next one because I don't care.
What's that? Oh, WoW Cataclysm. That's just, I figured it needed to be listed in there. It's going to be a pretty big title when it comes out, so...
Fair enough. The Last Guardian. I don't know anything about this one either.
Yes, you do. You just know it as Trico.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, they're from the Shadow of Colossus guys.
Yeah, exactly. So
Gotcha. That's the one with the big cat face thing.
Eagle cat.
Eagle cat.
Eagle kitten, yeah. Hawk kitten.
Yes. Which looks cool.
Yeah, it looks cool. It does look like a pretty solid game. So.
And Ruse.
Ruse is really interesting in that it's the first RTS that we've seen that allows you to fake moves and send fakes and decoys and stuff like that. What I particularly liked about it was the video I saw in which they showed this guy using this brilliant strategy. I don't know whether they're just dumb or whether they actually thought this was a good strategy, but it basically involved getting all of the... This guy getting these planes and ships, like troop transports, and sending them to the beach, and all of the enemy tanks and stuff came down to the beach, ready to, greet these.
Greet them. Throw them a party.
Yeah, and so he gets all of his defences down on the beach, and then when the doors open, there's no one in there. They're just dummies.
It's a ruse.
I know. And then this massive army comes, this massive navy with destroyers and planes, bombers, and thousands of planes and thousands of ships and stuff. It comes sailing in from just out of the background and stuff. Now, as far as strategy goes, if you already have that fucking army, you don't need a ruse.
My concern is more that both players will obviously have the ability to fake certain movements or whatever. It sounds like it's going to be less dependent on skill and more just on dumb luck.
No.
No?
That's the point. It's more dependent on, because they say they're going to do, a particular movement. You might have to check. You might have to send scouts and spies and stuff to make sure that they're going where you think they are, and counter. So it's basically, and it's I hope they don't make that aspect of it the all-encompassing, all-powerful thing that you're basically just faking attacks and every now and then do a real one. Well, as part of a strategy, it could be really useful, but it could be massively overused.
Well, look, it is the main gimmick. It is the main distinguishing point between...
Hence the name.
Yeah, any other RTS game. So, look, it'll be interesting. Interesting to see how it goes anyway. Some of the other games coming up, one that I'm personally looking forward to, Dead Rising 2. I loved the first Dead Rising. I thought it had plenty of flaws, but if they can address some of them, then the sequel would be... Because it's just fucking cool.
Yeah.
Being in a shopping centre with shitloads of zombies. And not Dead Rising on the Wii.
No.
Which didn't have a shitload of zombies at all.
It had three. Yeah.
Three zombies, which, after you've killed them, then there's not much else to do.
Shop?
Hey! Yeah, everyone else is dead, so...
Bit of retail therapy.
Fallout New Vegas.
What's that?
It's the new Fallout
Is it an
game.
Expansion?
It's not an expansion. I should have looked into this a little bit more. I don't think it's an expansion. I think... No, I'm not even going to say this because I could get it wrong. What I do know is it's actually being developed by Obsidian, who were originally working on the original Fallout 3 game before it got picked up by Black Isle Studio, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
That actually made the Fallout 3 that we've actually played today. So it's interesting that the next Fallout kind of... It's still set in... It's still the first-person RPG game. I think it's using the same engine and all this kind of stuff. But instead of like this desolate American wasteland, it's actually like almost a Las Vegas sort of setting, which I think is...
the New Vegas.
Yeah, which I think is just cool, because anything set in a post-apocalyptic Las Vegas just sounds awesome.
That does sound cool.
StarCraft 2, Wings of Liberty, is one game that I am looking forward to, and I know will live up to all my expectations, and I will not be disappointed at all. And that is probably the one game this year that I will kill anyone else on the AG team if they want to review it. And, or if they try and take it away from me. Yeah?
You could just say, no, I'm reviewing it.
Or both.
Right. It's interesting. Blizzard this year have WoW Cataclysm coming out,
yep.
StarCraft 2, and probably Diablo 3 as well, which we haven't got listed here, but deserves a mention. The chances are pretty good we'll see that come out this year. So that's a lot of money in the the Blizzard vault.
Yeah. Well, maybe they need to top it up. Maybe things have been running a little bit dry. So they're like,
grim.
Fuck, we need to bump this up a bit. How about we release a new title in these franchises? When was the last time we did that? 10, 15 years ago? Yeah, it's probably about time.
Probably about time.
It is nice that you can't really, get pissed off at Blizzard or anything for, doing franchise games when EA do like a game a year.
Yeah.
And Blizzard will do a new game in their franchise every decade,
Well, they've had the advantage of WoW.
Yes.
Really.
Yes.
Which just makes so much money that they probably don't have to do anything else except cocaine.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah. Which has probably hindered their development
that's
on
probably,
the actual StarCraft and
I
Diablo
don't
franchises.
know. Would it slow development or would it speed development significantly?
I think it would speed it up, but then they'd get to a point where they look at the game that they made while on speed, or whatever, the expensive drug of choice that they chose was.
And then realise none of this is going to work because it's ridiculous.
Hence StarCraft Ghost.
Yes.
I thought, there we go.
Yeah, no. StarCraft Ghost I thought looked pretty cool.
I thought it looked cool, but, I guess, whatever. Yeah.
So what else do we have? Oh, Mario Galaxy 2.
Mario Galaxy 2. Even if it's more of the same, I'm fine with that. Because actually, almost every Mario game is more of the same anyway. So, but Mario Galaxy was a shitload of fun in its own right. So
I didn't play it.
Do you play games?
Remember how we talked about that and said I don't?
Yeah. Did Mario Galaxy didn't come out in 2009? It came out in 2008.
Yes, and I didn't play games then either.
Oh God.
It's one I do want to play because I've heard really good things about it. And every now and then I mention it, and Yahtzee goes, "Oh, I have it. You can play mine."
There we go.
That's not his accent.
No, not really. That was horrible.
Yeah, I know, it was pretty bad.
But, I mean, there's a whole bunch of other games, of course, coming out as well, especially sequels. Like, you got Lost Planet 2 and...
there's
No
another
More
Kingdom
Heroes
Hearts
2.
game, and...
I
Am Alive is one that's always kind of interested me because it's basically an interesting kind of survival horror, but not horror. So it's survival horror without the horror, which just makes it survival, which is kind of an interesting genre idea.
I don't know much about that one.
No, there's a few games that we've kind of not heard as much as we really need to make much of a decision.
There is
Dead Space 2 is another one that's coming, for example.
Yeah. Look, there is a shitload of games that are actually been announced that are coming out this year. And the thing is that when you look into them, they all look pretty fucking good. I mean, the production values of games these days, even... there's a new Kane and Lynch game coming out as well, isn't there? Or
yeah, there is.
Yeah, and now Kane and Lynch, the first one, didn't do anything for me at all. But the production values, when you look at the videos or you look at the actual promote, it just looks good. There's so many things that are good that my anticipation level is actually fairly in the middle, because I don't expect them to do anything new or blow me away in any particular reason. I'll be excited and glad if they do, but I'm not getting my hopes up this year. I'm just kind of middle of the road. Do you know what I mean?
I'm just interested in which has more exclusives now. Just looking through the exclusives for the Xbox 360, Tropico 3.
I don't think that's an exclusive. I think that's
it's listing as one. Supreme Commander 2. Oh, I see. Maybe they come out different times.
Yeah. Usually the PC version will come out at different times.
But the PC version is irrelevant. We're talking about console exclusive.
Okay, fine.
Because that can't be bothered.
Okay, fine. Well, the PlayStation 3 is kind of...
Yeah,
to be honest,
Alan Wake is one. Crackdown 2 is an exclusive for the 360.
Halo, Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive. Code Chronos. I haven't really heard much about that. Fable 3, which is important to some people, but I just didn't like the first Fable, so...
you didn't like the first Fable?
No, not really.
Did you play Fable 2? You did, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I got enough of an impression to go, yeah, no, again, he's just doing the same wanky bullshit.
I had an argument the other day, well, not an argument, but a discussion with someone that was actually trying to convince me that Fable 2 is a better RPG game than Oblivion.
Yeah, well, I haven't played Oblivion, so...
Okay, all right. Well, then this conversation isn't going really... I'm not going to get much out of this.
Not really. Okay. But I'm just trying to find other Xbox 360 exclusives, and I'm
maybe
not
this is
finding
something that we
many.
can actually look into. Maybe we can actually tally up all the exclusives that are coming out this year or announced this year and actually see how they go.
Well, it's not... Well, what I've just listed is pretty much it. Like for the 360 exclusives, and I find that really interesting. There do seem to be remarkably few. But the 360, it's not only... Sorry, the PS3, not only do there seem to be more exclusives, but they actually appeal to me a lot more as well.
Yep.
I mean, having Halo as an exclusive doesn't really affect me that much, because I never liked the Halo games.
Right.
Alan Wake could be really interesting, but on the 360, on the PS3, you've got stuff like The Last Guardian, which will appeal to a lot of people.
Yep.
White Knight Chronicles looks really good as well. I'm not sure if you've seen that. Standard kind of JRPG, really fancy.
It is only the beginning of the year, though. The race has only just started. There's plenty of time left. Well, I think either way, regardless of exclusives or what the games that we've just listed, it's looking like a pretty fucking kick-ass year for games.
It certainly is. They're certainly bringing out some really interesting stuff.
Sorry, just the way you said that. It certainly is, Yug. Yeah, it was very radio commentator.
Yeah, no problem. It's what we do.
Yes. Oh, yeah, good point.
What I'm particularly interested in is going to be the hardware that they bring out. They're going to both bring out their motion control stuff, and
towards the end of the year.
And what happens with those could determine a lot more the future of both consoles than these exclusives.
There's a lot of games. All these games that we've listed, we have no idea about any Natal motion control, and certainly any motion control specific games aren't listed here. Who fucking knows? Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, we will. I know. I've no doubt both companies are going to be promoting a bunch of stuff. There's events coming up eventually. There's nothing coming up particularly soon, with the exception of CES, which is actually on in a week actually.
Oh, okay.
So CES is the first up. So that's going to be the first thing we see, and then Game Developer Conference, and
sure,
so on.
Cool. All right. Well, there we go. Happy New Year, Matt.
Happy New Year to you too, Yug. Hopefully you won't be an idiot this year.
Really?
Hopefully. I'm not holding my breath, but you know.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's lovely. I hate you too.
Well, we're going to go, people. I think we're done, and we are going to... I want to hear what people on the forums have to say. I want to hear what your most anticipated game for the year is.
Yeah, I'd imagine there'll be a lot of people actually responding and going, "Fuck you, Halo's awesome." Actually, probably not as many as we think. But if you are one of those people, by all means.
Yeah, please do. And if you feel the need to sign up to the forum in order to abuse us for not liking Halo and not realizing just how awesome it is, please
do. You wouldn't be the first.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. All right, thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thanks very much for your time. See you guys.
Next week.